drop any comments. Let me know what you guys think. Hit that like definitely so this video can get out more out there. Subscribe to the channel, man, because we're only going to keep building from here. YouTube, what's good? Welcome back to another video, man. It is, what's today, Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. Yeah, today's Tuesday, man, and we're back on the Silverado build. Very rainy weekend, guys. Very rainy weekend. So the last 3 videos I have went to an event. You guys had a good weekend. If this is your first time on my channel, I drop daily vlogs, car audio builds, car audio stuff here and there. So go ahead and hit that subscribe, because man, we do some pretty alright stuff here. Hit that like button, you know, more than anything, if you're already a subscriber, and drop some comments. I'm actually backing up my truck into the driveway because today we're going to be continuing to build on the box for the Silverado, man, and we are actually doing a 4th order Bandpass blow through for my Silverado, and we are doing Sundown E-Class subs. And I know entry level this and do these and do that, but we're just experimenting with these speakers. You know, we're just trying to see what's good with them right off the bat. You know, this is gonna be my third box doing for Sundown, so we're just slowly experimenting until we get up to that level where we can start messing with the bigger subs. We're just testing out formulas on boxes. I mean, I already know that they're gonna work, but we're just gonna keep going forward with them because, I mean, it's fun to do these builds, man. You know, so once we get this build done on the Silverado, it is done. Those subs are gonna stay the way they are. The mids are gonna stay the way they are. Then we can continue a whole nother car, and maybe on the next car, we can try some real badass Scar subs, or maybe step it up from the E-Class subs to the X Series subs. Who knows? We'll see what happens. So for today's goal, I want to build the port. I want to router out the port. And real quick, if you guys want to support your boy in any way possible, man, go ahead and please subscribe to my other channel, Mousetrap TV. That's where I put a lot of like car show videos, racing, stuff like that. A bunch of badass cars. I mean, if you're a car lover off the bat, man, that is the channel for you to be on. And it is so hot here already, man. It's like 9 o'clock. Look, I'm already on the tee. But I'm gonna put this thing in the freezer because this Florida weather is not playing, you guys. Yesterday, that thing felt like it was like 105. It was at 90 degrees, but man, that 90 was a real deal 90. It's like saying like amps 1,000 watts. Man, yesterday was 1,000 watts outside, guys. That shit was no joke. But let's go ahead and let me get my temp measure, and then we're gonna talk real quick on what we're gonna do with this port. All right, so if you guys been keeping up with the videos, remember I said that I wanted to make my port 30 by 5, and our opening we got is actually 32.5. So we have more than enough wideness for the port. Now the height, we're gonna go ahead and do it 5, and right underneath that lip right there, it's 13. So we have plenty of inches to work off. So we're just actually gonna come up from the bottom of the box 4 inches, and it'll still give us up to where that 9's at, I think, for it just to slide in. I always see a lot of people, they cut the port like that, going into this lip right here, that lip right there, and man, I feel like that's actually dangerous because when you cut inside the cab, if you cut from a cab going out to the bed, it like drops. You see what I'm saying? So I always like to cut from bed in, and we're gonna stay underneath this lip right there because I don't like cutting up this. It like loses structure and stuff like that, and we don't want any of that stuff. So we're gonna put the box up. We're gonna put the port 4 inches up from the bottom of the box, so it still sits pretty like low, and it should be pretty good. So let's go ahead and take our baffles out and the bottom piece of the box out and start cutting out some width. Okay, and the reason why I want to build a port is because when we start doing braces, we're just going to cut out all the braces at once and do all the braces all together. But for the port, I'm going to do columns along the bottom to support the brace from it flopping up and down when the base is slamming. And we're going to do columns coming from the port up to the top of the box with a nice little brace that's going to help support this portion of the box from flexing, because our baffles are pretty much secure with our braces that they're getting, but this area right here, it still has, you know, flexibility, and you know, we're going to use the port as brace support on her so she don't flex like that, because like I said, we're going to cut a window right here on the top board so we can be able to load the subs, but we don't want it to interfere with our braces that we have going on. And I don't want to do removable braces because, you know, we can screw them down and everything, but at the end of the day, everything gets stapled and glued down, and that's way more better than I feel than screwing them down, because, you know, with the base rattling, the screws will just like pop up here and there. I mean, that's just, you know, the stuff that I've always gone through. So I stopped building boxes with screws a long time ago because of that purpose, and braces as well. But we'll see what happens. So let's do some measurements real quick, cut some wood out, and start building this port, and then we can router it out so it looks good. Okay, I cut out the wood that I needed for the port that's going to go inside the box. Sadly, my tripod that I use, which is my trash can with a piece of wood on top, still waiting for the trash man to pull up so he can take the trash and I can use it so I can start recording as I cut wood. But for the meanwhile, I'm just going to go ahead and cut it, and we have our pieces that we needed for our port. I'm going to put the port together, and then I'm going to round over the back of it before I actually staple it on the front piece of wood, and then we're going to actually notch it out a little bit, and then we're going to come through with the flush router bit, flush it out so we have a real nice opening on her, man. So let's get on that real quick right now. So this is actually our port that's going to go sit inside the box. See what I'm saying? So now, I really don't feel that there's a need, but we can maybe just put one small brace in the center of that thing, just so it'll help it for support. But I mean, it's pretty strong, but a brace inside her would not hurt. But let me think some stuff out real quick, and then we're gonna make that decision. But I really feel that if it was just one long port, then yes, we would have to definitely do a brace in it because there's flexing in it. But with it being like that, still somewhat tight fit, I feel that we don't really need a brace. But we'll decide that right now. If we do put a brace in, it's just to make it look extra cool. But for the purpose of it, I really don't see a need for it. So alright, let's continue. We are going to go ahead and router out the back of the port, so it's already routed out, ready to rock and roll. Cut out the front piece of the box and staple the port onto her, and then so the front piece is already ready. This is some of the things what I talk about. The only thing I don't like about birch. If we would have NDF, man, that thing would have been flawless. But it is what it is. I guess birch is stronger. I mean, all the woods have their downfalls. So we're just gonna build this box and see how it does with the birch. But any future builds, I think we're just gonna stick to the MDF from now on. Just because, like, I don't know, we'll see what happens. But this is the only downfall that I feel with the birch. It gives me stuff like this whenever I'm routering it out. So I'm giving you guys real deal footage of what goes on with these builds. You see what I'm saying? I don't try to edit out and make it look good and then make it seem like the birch is good. The birch does, you know, work badass. It is really strong, I'll give it that. But, you know, this is just the only downfall for me. Next thing on the list is we're going to cut our front piece of the box out. And then we're somewhere going to measure where the box is going to go. And then we're going to set the port right there. Draw it out. Then cut out the unnecessary, you know, router wood that we need to cut out with the router. Brad nail it on there. Then router it out again with the router. And then we'll come back and then we'll staple it on there pretty good. But we're going to try some stuff out there. At least 4 inches off from the bottom of the box. So we're just marking out some 4s. And then we're going to clamp down a strip of wood so it can give us our line, so we know where. So pretty much we got the port lined up where it's supposed to go. We drew our external line and we drew some internal lines of the wood that we actually need to cut out. Once we get that cut out, we're going to staple the port onto the front piece of the wood, and then we're going to router it out so we have a nice flush cut. Okay, so I'm just going to basically drill out a hole. Okay with that, man. That birch is strong, you feel me? Okay, so I drill out the holes. I'll probably drill 2 more at the other end, but just real quick. So I just like barely give it enough lip so I don't have to router out that much and it'll make that much of a big of a mess, and so I don't put that much stress on my router. And so it just like easily just flows right through it and gives me a nice perfect cut. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill those other holes out, then I'll set up the camera and we'll router it. Okay, our cutout, it's done, and as you can see, like there's bare like minimum that needs to get routed out. Like that's like nothing. So instead of having to like rip the port off, grind down brad nails and your staples or all that stuff, what I'm actually going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to go ahead and glue it, staple the port down, and then router it out. Just so once it's done, it's done. We don't have to, you know, use more staples or anything. I mean, just we can check that off the list, and then we can go from there. Out the bearing on the router to a more fresh one, and I went ahead and did a pre-cut on it real quick just to see what it's doing. Guys, look at that. Very, very nice flush router. Very nice. Very, very nice. Very pleased. So let's see what it looks like with all the baffles and everything with the front piece. Should look pretty, look like we're doing something. As you can see, look. So real quick, this is just our port that's gonna go inside there. We still have to extend it 5 inches. And I think we did 7, so 7 plus 5, that's a 12-inch long port. We're gonna see how long we can actually get it, because I would actually like a pretty long port. So when we hit those low notes, man, those things are just like nasty, guys, like really, really, really nasty. And so that's how big our port's gonna be. And it's just gonna slide inside there pretty good, man. So it's looking really cool. Okay, let's have some port brace talk time real quick. Okay, so as you can see, you guys are looking at it in the video, but the pieces are just sitting in there. But of course it's gonna have a little drop because they're not all the way set and stapled in right. But I already feel that the port is gonna have too much like flexing play, so that's why I said it's gonna be, you know, we're gonna have to do something about bracing along the bottom. You see what I'm saying? So we're gonna have to put definitely a column there and a column there to stop it from flexing. You see what I'm saying? Same thing with the top. We're gonna have to build braces to go from top and to bottom, and so the port doesn't move up and down. And then depending how we feel, we may just do one, you know, real nice brace along right here, real small as possible, to where we can still maneuver the subs in to brace this top portion of the box. So really we're going to use the box, you know, to work with each other, with itself, so it'll brace this portion of it, so there's no flexibility. These pieces right here, these baffles are going to get supported from the bottom, side to side, and top, so it doesn't have any play action, so there's no clapping sound. And with bracing that, and that, we don't have to worry about any clapping sounds along through the side, which is going to be pretty good for our box design. But once we adjust everything and really staple stuff, we'll have a good enough gap so we don't have to worry about it, and everything's bracing. You know, there should be no failure with nothing, so it's going to like really produce like a lot of bass. I always see from a lot of people whenever they build boxes, is they always just tend to just probably just build a small port, you know, just coming out externally, nothing internally. And I feel when you do an internal port, it just squeezes that sound pressure just to fight to get out through that hole, and just compresses that bass, so it just like shoots nothing but pure, you know, like sound, like, you know, that hard, you know, bass. So with it right here, the way how it is in the design, you're pushing subs, the subs are pushing all that sound and air out, really compress, kind of wide, not too wide, but when you go inside the cab, man, that thing's just gonna, the punches in there is gonna be very, very, very aggressive. And like I said, I didn't want to come up and make like a big ridiculous port, because then if we would have done a very tall port, our port would have been very, you know, not that wide. And I wanted a wide port, you know, because I wanted the sound to come out, you know, at a strong wide sound base. You see what I'm saying? And just looking at it right here, it's going to be very intimidating looking, just the subs just staring at you. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so I think that's going to be it for today. Real quick, after we get done building the box and you know, all the braces are done, we're going to continue building off with the port. We're going to build our port 5 inches deep again, and we're going to cut another front piece of wood out. Then it's going to actually get routed out the same way how we just did this, stapled on there. Then we're just going to load it up with staples, and then, you know, sandwich it together, so then it's all just one big piece. But we got to build everything together and make sure bracing everything's done, then we can film. The last thing of building the box is going to be the front plate with the port that's going to go inside there. So then we can just cut the bed and then mount the box, and that's done. So then we can continue flushing out the rest of the bed and figuring out where stuff's gonna go. Drop any comments, let me know what you guys think. Hit that like definitely so this video can get out more out there. Subscribe to the channel, man, because we're only gonna keep building from here. And man, we're gonna do a lot of good stuff with this box right here, man. Slamology was just a few days ago. I didn't get to get out there, but like I said, as we continue to grow, man, we'll be able to go out and explore all these places and take the Silverado build out there. Then I can tow the Trailblazer out there with it as well too. But Trailblazer is going to get a whole new makeover. I already decided that. But we're going to finish the Silverado first, enjoy it, then we'll start the makeover on the Trailblazer, man. So subscribe to the channel, man, because we got a lot of plenty of builds to go, and we'll see how many builds we can do here and there. You see what I'm saying? So let's see what we can do. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, drop some comments, and we out, man. Peace.